47, Justice for Tyrone West and All Victims of Police Brutality. Tawanda, it's all you.
Thank you. So, guys, tune in, and we will definitely be right back. I'm driving right now, so that's why you have the picture of me up. So, tune into the thing that we play every week, the video of the first killer cop that started murdering my brother, and we'll be right back at you. Mic check.
Mic check.
Can't stop. Won't stop. Till killer cops are in cell blocks. Can't stop.
The following newly released video portrays an incident of assault and violence at the hands of police. Viewer discretion is advised.
I suggest you back the fuck up.
No.
This is Baltimore City Police Officer Jorge Bernardez Ruiz. In a newly released video shot in 2016, Ruiz is seen with his knee on the back of an unknown man with a gun pointed at the man's head. His message was a clear one. Concerned onlookers, adhere to my dictates or else. Here, we can hear Ruiz saying to Baltimore residents,
I suggest you back the fuck up.
No.
It is documented that Baltimore police officer Jorge Bernardez Ruiz is a repeat violent offender, even without access to all complaints against Ruiz, undisclosed by BPD Internal Affairs records. 6 cases involving Ruiz are known. This video will briefly highlight 6 total cases beginning in July of 2013. Case 1, Abdul Salam, July 1st, 2013. Here Salam is seen victoriously smiling in celebration after the jury found Ruiz and 2 other cops liable for brutality against him. However, because the trial was civil, not criminal, Ruiz was not fired and he did not go to jail.
Police profiled me. They followed me in the back of my house, harassing me. Police proceeded to violently and hostilely approach my van with me and my son in it. As I announced, this was my home, guns drawn. Once they reached my vehicle, they violently pulled me out, ramshacked my vehicle with my 3-year-old son strapped in his car seat, threw me against the gate, slammed me repeatedly. Picked me up by my feet, and while I'm upside down, they proceeded to drop me on my head, hog tie me, and immediately when I fell on my head, Ruiz, in a wrestling type of action, and kind of hit his knee against my neck. I was arrested. I had no idea what I was being arrested for. My son is scarred to this day. He remembers the incident as it happened yesterday. When he talks about it, he always refers to Daddy being on the floor with police yesterday.
Case 2, Darrell Harris, profiled, as seen in this video, July 17th, 2013.
Yeah, I said, what's wrong with it? Improper way with it. There's no such thing as an improper way. You gonna tell me my job, bro? I know the law. Are you gonna tell me the law? I know the law. You gonna tell me the law? I know the law. What's the problem? You giving me a ticket? You need my license registration? Yeah, profile, y'all use the seatbelt as a reason. Profile.
Do me a favor, take out your keys. Yeah, you can record me.
For what? Nah. I don't feel safe right now. Do you want me to step out the car? Do you want me to step out the car? I'll step out the car. Call the police, man. What do you call a supervisor? I'm about to do shit. This is getting uploaded to the internet right now. Yeah?
And we are 2 law-abiding citizens that we are getting targeted, and I don't know why.
Just 24 hours later, Bernardez Ruiz played a leading role in the police killing of unarmed Tyrone West. Case number 3, the murder of Tyrone West, July 18th, 2013.
My brother Tyrone West was brutally murdered on July the 18th, 2013.
In both of these cases, when you look at the pleadings and the harsh language of these officers that have been quoted to me by reliable witnesses, the N-word.
And Killer Ruiz and Killer Chapman and the rest of those 11 to 15 killers, including David Lewis, took something from my family that they could never give us again. And that was my brother Tyrone West, one unarmed man who was brutally murdered, beat to death in broad daylight.
All right, we're back. Sorry about that, Tawanda.
Oh, no problem. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check. So, guys, welcome to West Wednesday. I'm sorry I was a little late. I'm still out in, I'm pulled over safely, but I'm still out, and about in traffic and things of that nature. But tonight, Uncle Bill had something important that I thought was important to share with you guys. So, Uncle Bill, I'm gonna let you go ahead and dive right into that, and then I'll come back. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Yeah, I want to say a word about a case with the Baltimore City Police Department that's kind of revealing. It turns out there's a cop on the force here, and his name is Eric Payton, Payton. So some months back, there was a possible burglary at a business that leases out taxi cabs to taxi drivers. And he was walking around 1 a.m, and he spots this envelope on the ground inside. And he picks it up, and there's about $120 in it, and he pockets it. So the very next day, one day later, he was suspended without pay. And then within 4 months, he was put on trial. That trial was last week, exactly a week ago today. And at the trial, he was found guilty of two things. He was found guilty of theft, that's for that $120, and misconduct in office because he didn't report it as evidence, or report it as whatever way it should have been reported. And the consequences, he's going to be sentenced on February the 5th in a few weeks. But for the theft, he's facing up to 1 year. And for the misconduct in office, the judge can give him any penalty she wants. There's no limit on the penalty. So the lesson here to me is an important one, and it reveals a lot about the nature of the police. So if you steal a little money, you get punished severely. If you steal a life, especially a life belonging to the global majority, that is to say people of color, you get no punishment. In fact, you get a promotion in many cases. And in this one case, we can see how the whole system works. When a cop uses his or her position to steal from capitalists, from business owners, like the woman who had the business leasing out the cars, it leads to getting beat down. But if a cop uses his or her position to terrorize the working class, especially Black and Latin folks, in that case, it's encouraged. And that's certainly true in the case of Tyrone. 17 cops, none of them punished. And a number of them have gotten major promotions. And so I think sometimes in one small thing, we can see the big picture. And I think that's the case here. So I just wanted to share that. Mic check.
Mic check.
Tawanda, are you with us?
I think she might have actually just dropped out.
Tawanda had a technical problem earlier, so I'll be right back. While we're waiting for Tawanda to get back, let me mention that West Wednesday will hit the 555th week in March, and we're planning a major march downtown for that. We hope that those who are watching will listen and organize friends to join us and make this movement as strong and as powerful as we can. I don't have the date right here, but it's one of the Wednesdays in March. 555th West Wednesday. Tawanda, do we have you back yet?
Unfortunately, no.
Ah. Well, maybe we should go out of sequence and we can play the last 5 minutes of our video, and by then the technical problem will hopefully be solved.
I could read the comments actually that we have right now, maybe in the meantime.
All right, let's do that.
There's not a whole lot, but we've got our first one from Mr. Bleich. Good evening, everyone. Please, deeply pleased to be here for West Wednesday and the fight against racist police terror. Nkume Boja Brock says, mic check. And Bill says, welcome, Brock. Linda says, mic check. Hillary says, mic check. And also that March 13th will be the 555th West Wednesday. So everybody put that in your calendar.
Rachel, should we run the video while we're waiting?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that, our second part.
And Mr. West begging for his life, and Mr. Salam begging for his child to be excluded and comforted from what was taking place. Not for himself, but for his 3-year-old child.
Case number 4, Adina Britt and family, September 10th, 2015.
My name is Adina Britt, and I wanted to submit a 30-second testimonial that Jorge Omar Bernardez Ruiz is one of the 11 terrorists that came into my house performing a home invasion in September 2015, terrorizing my entire family and even holding my 12-year-old son at gunpoint. He needs to be stopped.
Case number 5, unidentified arrestee, assaulted in 2016.
I suggest you back the fuck up. No, why you want to talk to me? Why would you say that?
Again, this video did not surface until the summer of 2020. Case 6, Thomas McCullough, May 2016 and February 2017.
I heard my front door coming off the hinges like it exploded.
Thomas McCullough says it happened twice. In May 2016 and February 2017, Baltimore City Police burst through his green front door and raided his Pimlico home.
They said police. They come up, shotguns, guns.
He says officers ransacked the place, looking for drugs, money, and weapons. He took pictures of the damage he says they left behind.
Tell us where the drugs are, the scales, the guns, and the large amounts of money.
Nothing was found. Now he's suing police, claiming officers, including a former member of the Gun Trace Task Force, frightened him, his wife, and father-in-law when the officers conducted what his suit calls an illegal search of his home. The owner of the house tells 11 News after the second raid, he had to replace the front door. McCullough and his attorney say they want Baltimore police held accountable.
There is a colossal breach of trust.
And McCullough tells us following both raids, no one was arrested or charged.
This all begs the question, when will Baltimore City State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby see the prosecution of Bernardez Ruiz as warranted?
They were the stopping officers in these so-called jump-out cars, unmarked and so forth, that stopped both the West vehicle and the Salam vehicle without probable cause. And these officers are the ones that also were joined by others, but they are the ones who initiated the stops, pulled both men out of the vehicles, and commenced the vicious activity that was thrust upon them.
And the officer Ruiz that started this attack is still working and working with promotions. He is now sergeant. But the fact that this repeat of violent offender had a history leading up to my brother. There was Darrell Harris, there was James Green, Joseph Green, Abdul Salam, and my sister Adina and her family. No one family deserves to be brutally murdered or brutalized by this repeat violent offender Ruiz. It is time we take action. The time is now.
Baltimore police officer Jorge Bernardez Ruiz is a repeat violent offender. Based on these accounts, in accordance with the law, We, the West Coalition, call for him to be fired, prosecuted, and incarcerated.
We're more than hashtags and body bags. We're more than being 6 feet in the dirt and pictures and buttons on t-shirts. Our lives matter.
For the safety of our city, the prevention of further harm, and the justice for these families, we see no other option.
And again, I'll say, the time is now.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check. So thank you guys for tuning into the other half of the video. And I'm sorry you guys lost me. Like I said, I was out on the road, and every time I pull up in my own driveway, I lose everything. But I'm back. So nevertheless, so Uncle Bill, did you give them the report that you wanted to give them?
Yes, I did.
Awesome.
About a cop named Eric Payton.
Yes. Do you mind repeating it for the people like myself that just joined on?
Yeah, sure. This cop, he's been on the force about 7 years. And some months ago, he was called to a possible burglary, and it was a place where the owner leases cars out to cab drivers. And while he was there checking around with his flashlight, he spotted an envelope on the floor, and he picked it up, had about $120 in it, and he pocketed it. He kept it. The very next day, he was suspended with no pay. And within 4 months, they put him on trial. His trial was exactly 1 week ago, Wednesday last week. And at the trial, they found him guilty of 2 things, guilty of theft and guilty of misconduct in office. He's going to be sentenced in a few weeks on February, I think it's February the 5th. And for the theft, I think the charge is stealing between $100 and $1,500. For the theft, he faces up to a year. And for the misdemeanor of misconduct in office, the judge is actually allowed to give him any sentence she thinks is appropriate. Anything.
Oh, wow.
So the lesson to me from this little incident is that if you steal a little money from capitalists, in this case from the owner of this business that leases out the cars, if you steal a little money from the capitalist, you get punished severely. But if you steal a life, especially a life belonging to the global majority, that is to say, Black and Latino people, you get no punishment. And in fact, it's fairly likely you'll get a promotion, which is what happened to a number of the 17 cops that stole Tyrone's life, as we know. And so I think that it's a good example of how this system works. They don't want the cops in a little business for themselves, stealing from other capitalists and amassing their own little nest egg. They want the cops to serve the capitalists and protect them and protect privilege and protect wealth. And part of that process, unfortunately, is taking the lives of people of color to terrorize the community and make us feel like we can't change things, we can't stick up for ourselves. So I just thought it was worth hearing about that case.
No, absolutely. And I'm glad. And thank you for resharing it with me as well and other people that possibly tuned in online. Yeah, that's just sickening to me because that shows you, and that's what I call swift justice or swift accountability. If they could do that just like that over capitalists, over money, like really, why can't you do that when it comes to a life? Here it is, a decade later, we're still fighting for accountability for the 17 murderers that murdered my brother. This is ridiculous. And just having had my mom's birthday was yesterday. You know, it's a real emotional time for me and whatnot. It's just a lot going on, and it's just really saddening at this time. You know, it's just like, but that just shows you they can do whatever they want to do, you know, but they choose not to do it. People choose to turn the blind eye and act like they don't want to, you know, do anything, and they're doing what they pretty much are doing, and that's just wiping us out. And meanwhile, like you said, when it comes down to $1, they want to smash you. But then when you take a life, it's like, really? That's sickening. So yeah,
It's just a lot. So I'm glad. Thank you for sharing that, Uncle Bill. I really appreciate that. That's just like disgusting. It seemed like the capitalists, it seemed like they always win. And it's really disgusting to me. It really is. And you have grieving families fighting for their loved ones, fighting each and every day. Like while people are getting sleep at night, we can't sleep. And this thing pours over, not only it pours over to the whole entire family. It pours over to everybody, you know. And meanwhile, my nephew Trayvon, he's suffering right now. And he's gone missing again. And that's something that I have to deal with. But all this stems back to his father being murdered, no one being held accountable. And it's just sad and disgusting. But this is the world that we live in. It's just like you get tired of it, it's just a lot. It really is. But I'm just hoping that everybody is taking care of themselves. I'm feeling a little better today because I was too under the weather the whole entire weekend leading up to today. I was feeling a hot mess. But as a mother, my duty still remained. I still had to enjoy myself, and I was out of town with my daughter. During her competition season with both of my daughters, and trying to do the best I could to support her. It's just a lot going on. So yeah, and then this weather has been a mess, and I just want to make sure everybody's taking care of themselves and just doing what they got to do, because it seemed like the year just started. We ain't even a whole 30 days into the year, and just so much of stuff is happening. And I want to send my prayers to Patrick Henderson's family. He was an icon, a dedicated leader. And I remember early in this, when my brother first was murdered, and I want to say it was like maybe a few months later, 6 or 7 months later, I got invited on Patrick Hendricks' show as well. Like Wayno reached out to me, and Patrick Henderson, and he was amazing. And he always, like, no matter what type of retribution he would, get for always uplifting my brother, saying an unarmed man was murdered, and that was devastating. He was so compassionate, so loving. And he had a gift. He could play music as well. He was so talented. And just to see that he would have been 75 years old on my mother's birthday, which was yesterday, but he died a day before his birthday. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is like, you just never know what life is going to bring you. And just like, I'm just looking at like a lot of people that's close in my circle. And when I remember, like, when West Wednesday first started, and I seen like a lot of married couples that used to show up in solidarity with West Wednesday. A lot of those couples not even together, they moved on. This is like, life is life, and then it's just really strange to me, like, just to see how things start off, and then how they wind up. You like, it's mind blowing. It's just like, but you just got to take every day, live it, enjoy it. And and to me, enjoyment is making sure that you hold people accountable, including yourself. We need to not just hold everybody accountable. We have to hold ourselves accountable. Accountability starts with ourselves first. And once we hold ourselves accountable for whatever we may be doing or whatever, then we can take it from there. But it's just sad again. I'll echo that it's very sad and disgusting that a human life means nothing, that money means more than a human life, and that's disgusting. I always say that it's never about the income, it's about the outcome. And that's what I mean, like making sure that people live, making sure that we all live safe, the whole pursuit of happiness. Like, everybody deserves that. And it's just saying, like, and I even look at how fast, like, they can bring laws up, for certain people that get murdered, which a murder is a murder. No one deserves to be brutally murdered, and it's sad and it's heartbreaking. But I'm seeing now, like, now it's legislation time, and you have all the politicians going down lobbying and things like that, and everybody's fighting hard because they were saying about the repeat violent offender act. When someone rapes someone, that they shouldn't, and that was because of the Caucasian female that was actually, you know, murdered by a repeat violent offender. But the sad part, they knew that this repeat violent offender was out there. They didn't want the black family that they got burnt up. They didn't even mention them. You know, it's just sad. Like I said, they put these laws in place for who they want to protect, and it's not protecting us. And it's just sad and disgusting, you know. And I feel like the same way y'all could swiftly put a certain law in place and make sure that they follow it, or you catch a killer within a few hours, depending on the colored person's race. I'm sorry. You know, everybody deserves that. Like here it is now. This weekend, it's my cousin's 3 years. He's been murdered. And yet they got my damn family silenced until we trust this whole deal. And I don't trust nothing about it. And I'll say it, and I'm only respecting my family. That's why I'm not going into details. But God knows when I can talk, I'm going to let Lottie Dottie and everybody have it. It is sad and disgusting how they treat black families. It doesn't matter if your loved one was murdered by a repeat killer cop or repeat serial violent killer. They don't care. They don't care about us. You know, they want to, man, I'm just trying, let me just be quiet before I go off. And I'm trying not to, because like I said, I respect my family, but it's just sad. Literally 3 years ago, and I'm lifting my cousin name up, Tavon Anderson was brutally murdered, wasn't doing nothing. My cousin Tavon was not a street guy. I'll repeat that. My cousin Tavon Anderson was not indulging in the street. He was a hard working father. He was an activist. He was everything to me. You know, he stood out there and he fought, and he always uplifted Tyrone's name. That was his big cousin. He always uplifted his big cousin's name. And for him to literally be snatched away from my family the night that all Ruiz dirt get out, we keep playing this dirty piece of scum week after week when we're online, and nothing's getting done about it. Nothing. Everything is the damn Doug and Pony show. Just like they promised when that new video had surfaced, and that happened in 2015, but it didn't surface until the George Floyd. Everything happened with George Floyd. Then that's when, you know, a lot of things came out and surfaced and things of that nature. And they promised they was going to do something. And their promises have fallen on deaf ears. What they're doing is they're like, oh my God, he's getting so many rewards for all the murder and disgusting stuff that he does. It's ridiculous. Like literally, and I just remember sitting down with commissioner after commissioner, and they sat in your face and they're like, oh my goodness, this will not happen on my watch. I'm going to do something about it. And then you turn around and you see these jokers 4 or 5 months later giving them awards, shaking their hands, like disgusting. And then they wonder why they keep dropping like flies. Like, it's sickening. It's sad, but this is our reality, and it shouldn't be anyone's reality, because at the end of the day, right is right and wrong is wrong. Right is right and wrong is wrong. I want to let y'all let that sink in, because none of this stuff that's happening is not right. Like, my family should not have been gone on this long with no type of accountability whatsoever. Like, no, like, this is not cool. And this is like they playing the game, and I feel like all they doing is just trying to keep my family calm and quiet and collective. See, they love it. Let's be crystal clear. When this system snatches away our loved ones, treat us like slaves, like they always did. They hate us before we're born into this world. They hate us when we're in our mother's womb. We're hated. You know, and that's so disgusting, but it's the reality. But the whole point of what I'm trying to say is the hate is real. And it's just sad that all the love we have with fighting, they love when we just sat back and peacefully protest and change laws and just do little things in their way. They love that because it's like this calm. But like, no, it's going to come a time, and I'm only saying this because it's only going to become a time. Me and my family said it before Freddie Gray happened. We said that we were the next Ferguson. When we heard about Michael Brown family, we went over there immediately to Ferguson to support and stand with my brother Michael Brown. Senior as well as his family and things of that nature. We wouldn't stood in solidarity with Eric Garner's family. We kept saying that we were the next Ferguson. And what happened? Freddie Gray happened. And at the end of the day, what did they do to Freddie Gray family? Nothing. Nothing. It's just sad. And it's like, to me, that's why I say my new belief is knocking this damn system down and restarting it. And what does that look like? Like, really, like, literally, what does that look like? If we could take all of these players, all the corruption off the table and rethink things, relive things, and restart things. Like, I just want to just put it back and rewind because it's not working. Like, yeah, you get little things, like you might get a law change, like, and we still unsure the gag order law. Yeah, the gag order law says that a person can talk about their their trauma, their pain and all that and not be gagged. But at the same time, like, do we know if that's true? Do we know if that they're standing holding their ground on it? It's like nothing these people say to me is true. Nothing that they say it has proven to be true. Like that they can't hold their word on anything. And it's like they bring things back that they say has failed us and they keep bringing the same things back. And I always talk about the speed camera as a big example of them really failing us. They knew that those cameras were pretty much snapping people pictures, giving them illegal tickets that wasn't right, all that. They said it was a failure, it was a waste of the citizens, taxpayer dollars, all that good stuff. And they said that they was going to stop, and then they stopped. And then what they do under the new administration, they not only do they bring it back, they bring it back, and then they start putting it on 83 highways, all type of stuff. They go all the way in, bringing that foolishness back. And even when Commissioner Bates was in office and all that stuff. And they pretty much even Kevin Davis. But when they were all in office, they kept saying, we're not going to do the jump out boys no more. We see that we're not going to do the stop and frisk, and they still doing the same thing. They doing it right in our face. They do the same thing, and we sat back and we just accept it. We just sat back and talk about it. Nobody's coming up. Like, we just accept all this pain and torture, and that is disgusting to me. So I really feel like now that we're in 2024, we shouldn't take it anymore. Like, I'm tired of the Doug and Pony show. I'm just so tired, y'all. I can't express it anymore. Like, our loved ones are literally being murdered. And it's not stopping. Like, they're still doing it. They literally, in one thing, they say, well, you know what? No one's allowed to be choked out. Chokeholds are illegal, but yet they're still choking people out. Like, make it make sense. Like, everything that they're saying, oh, no one should be chasing, no cop should be chasing any cars through the streets. It's unsafe. Somebody can get killed. Innocent people, all of that. And they're still chasing people, still killing people. It's just really sad. No one's talking about Tyree Moorhead. He was gunned down. He was doing his own thing, marking the territories up. When somebody was killed, he would go and he would mark the spot. And then what they do, they kill him in the first spot that he ever marked. They gun him down like an animal. Let us see it. Let us see a black man getting gunned down, and nobody's talking about it. No one's talking about it. And that's my problem. Because if they can get away with this stuff, they're going to keep on doing it and doing it. And what we're going to do is keep on sitting back talking about it. We might protest, and it's just sad that we get more engaged and more involved with people dying overseas, which nobody should be dying. It's like we don't take care of our home. We rush out our home. We leave our home filthy and nasty to go clean up somebody else's mess. We need to clean our own damn house. We need to make sure we're safe. And it's sad. And I'm not saying, oh, don't go and fight for people overseas, because yes, we all need to stand in solidarity and fight for every wrong issue, because none of the stuff that should be happening shouldn't be happening. It's disgusting. Human beings are dying, getting murdered, slaughtered. But we also too need to take care of our home. You can't take care of no one if you can't take care of yourself. It's just like we never want to fight for ourselves. We always take whatever they throw at us. It's like, okay. and it's not okay. I'm ready to start really fighting. I'm ready to connect the dots. I'm tired of swinging at the air. I want to make sure enough connections. Like when I swing, I want to make it connect. I want to knock it out on the first row. That's where I'm at with it. So I'll check in real quick. Uncle Bill, do you mind me reading the comments and questions that are on the board? Mic check.
I could do that, but while your phone had gone out, Rachel did that before, so she would know where she stopped. I think she could probably do a better job.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Mic check.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so our next comment is from Jay Andre, who says, greetings. Judah says, mic check. And then, oh no, Tawanda, I didn't know Trayvon was missing again. Let us know if and how we can help. Jay Andre says, prayers sent up to the family. AC Britt says, I felt the same way about the legislation that was submitted, and that we heard the same thing from a lot of Black families at all of those worthless, whirly town halls. They said the homicide detectives were shutting them out and not giving info. Bill says, yes, Ruiz for sure is a dirty piece of scum. Hillary said, yes, your family has been horribly disrespected by the racist injustice system. It is beyond time for accountability. AC Britt says, they're now claiming that the consent decree is quote unquote working and they're nearing the end. Meanwhile, they've never stopped beating and killing people. Then they never stopped over policing areas either. Hillary says, yes, Tawanda, in 2024, we won't take it anymore. Mitch says, mic check. AC Britt says, yes, and that there's a saying that says, charity starts at home. And that's our last comment.
Awesome. And thank you guys, each and every last one of you that commented. Yes, thank you so much. Yeah, Julia, yeah, my nephew unfortunately is missing again. And the last I was told that he was in Virginia and all. I just wonder if anybody that and we know that right now, as of now, he's not showing up, that he's incarcerated or anything. And it's just the fact that it's the same thing that happened when I went state over over the different states to go and get him, and it breaks my heart, but I just want to make sure he's okay. That's just a lot, but I can't get my mind stuck back there because I almost died, and it's just too much. So if you could just pray for my family, or if you know anybody in Virginia, but he's not showing up, that he's incarcerated. And that's the scary part, because at least I know that if he was incarcerated or in a hospital, unfortunately, if he was in a hospital because of the HEPA laws, that they can't tell us anything. I just want to know that he's safe. That's all I want to know. That's all I want to know, that he's safe. So if you guys can find information, and maybe you can get with me after this or whatever, but that's all I just want to know, that he's safe. That's it. And yeah, but thanks everybody. And then it said my sister Dina was talking about them coming in with the consent decree. I always thought from day one that it was a joke. It's like they bring in stuff that's supposed to help us, and people get overly paid that shouldn't get paid. And it's not even saving us. It's like all the years, and then we be it's just disgusting to me, because I just remember before they came in, you had mixed feelings. You want them to get it right so bad. You're like, oh my goodness, they need to do this and they need to do that. But meanwhile, they come in and everybody's sitting there enjoying life, and meanwhile we're still dying. Even when they first came in, I'll never forget when they first came in the consent decree. They first came in. I'll never forget being at a town hall meeting, and I told them, and I'm gonna share the video with you guys at some point this week. But I told them, I said, while y'all sitting up in here, come in here with a band-aid. Meanwhile, Freddie Gray is in the hospital dying. This before Freddie Gray was from there, but they literally attacked Freddie Gray while they was here in town. That's my whole point. They get turned up because they know ain't nothing going to happen. It's just it's almost like saying that if we leave, we leave the children with the predators, and we know that these children are getting abused, and we sat by not doing anything, and the poor children are getting abused. That's what's happening to us right now. It's disgusting, man. It's sick. It's real sick. And I even looked at a interview, an exclusive interview that Sean Yoles did. I think that was the our either first or second televised interview, and it was for the Afro. It was their first one for the Afro. But I'll never forget, it was me and my aunt Diane. I shared it on yesterday as well. But it was an exclusive interview, and I remember Sean Yo, shout out, he was the first reporter to actually make the connection that Ruiz not only, murdered my brother, but he made the connection between Abdul Salam, and everybody else kept their mouth closed, so. And then for us to literally, like I said, learn that there's more, people that this maniac, disrupted their life, like, and everything. And then for me, literally, like I said, when my cousin was murdered, to find out that the ACLU did a damning report that Ruiz had 36 additional complaints. Do you know how serious that is when a person say, you know what, I'm not going to let this maniac get away with abusing me. I'm going to go down there despite retribution. I'm going to go down there. I'm going to give all my information. And it's sad because we're never protected. We have to go down there. We have to show them our identification. And then with our address on it and everything, we write down what the officers allegedly, did to us and all this horrible stuff. We have to set up there, pretty much seem like we're getting interrogated because we were attacked. And then you get them the complaint, and then that's it. And then, but yet, when I went to court with these killers, I would literally have to get on the stand and, testify. And this is for the civil trial, even though I can't wait for the um criminal trial, because that's what I always been in it for. Nothing else, nothing more, nothing less. But nevertheless, they'll make you get up on the stand and state your name and where you live at. And meanwhile, you got these maniacs in the back of the courtroom blowing kisses at you, doing the cutthroat justice. I had to endure all that foolishness while I was in the court. And meanwhile, when they go up there, now they dress to impress. They not acting like the maniac that murdered or did a home invasion, coming in somebody's goddamn house, turn their house upside down, somewhere, a dwelling that, supposed to be the most sacred places where you rest your home. Rest your head. That's your home. And they come in there and terrorize your whole goddamn family, hold you on the scenes and all of that. But then they get to come in the courthouse with a suit on, being respectful. And every time they ask the question, oh, I don't recall. I don't recall. So if you couldn't recall stuff a whole year later, you talking about a decade later, you giving these jokers all this kind of time to play with so they can play in our face more and more. They act like they couldn't recall a year later their actions, their abuse, their neglect, their negligence. They couldn't recall any of that within 1 year later, right? But you mean to tell me that we supposed to get a fair trial a decade later or so, where witnesses are dying off, where things change, where people can't remember? It's just disgusting. Shame on this dirty system. That's why I say I'm ready to knock it down, build it back up. That's where I'm at with it. Like, I'm tired of playing the Doug and Pony show. After a while, all things you get tired of. Everything get played out after every now and then, and it's just sad that we have to live like this. It's really sad. It's disgusting that we even have sad lists. It's disgusting that, once the media kicks out information, we have over 70 something names of people getting murdered. Then they want to slow it down, and then they don't want to give you names for a week or two, and you got to wait. And then when you get the list again, it's a whole bunch of names. Like, it don't matter if you give us a name or not, right? We know that you are killing us every day all around the world. And it's sad and disgusting, and it needs to stop. Like, at what point are we going to be able to, like, pull together as human beings, right? This is about humanity. Let's pull together as humans. Doesn't matter what your race, your sex, none of that. We should be able to pull together collectively as human beings and say, you know what? Enough is enough. Because if we can take care of our own home here, we definitely can take care when stuff happens right underneath of the president. That over and over again, they got us voting from bad to evil. Like, you know what I mean? Like, come on now. Like you got sugar honey iced tea over here, sugar honey iced tea over there, and you supposed to vote between the best of the evils. Like it's sick, man. It's disgusting. It's really doing something to me. But yeah, I can go on all night, but I won't. But I just want to let you guys know I have a awesome online show that I got planned out. I'm not going to tell you who our special guest is. It's going to be coming up in like maybe a week or two, but it's going to be mind blowing. I want y'all to tune in because they were going to come on tonight, but again, they have a family, they have a life, and they've been doing lots of things, amazing things. And this person is my Shiro. So I can't wait to bring her on, man. Like she is like a complete queen. Like, oh my God. Like so yeah, so I'll just stop right here and I'll check in to see if Rachel or Uncle Bill want to say anything before we go on to the sad list. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mike, check.
Tawanda,
Yeah.
maybe you could say a word about the upcoming West Wednesday 555.
Okay, yeah, that's awesome. Thank you. So we're planning on having our 500. We're saying 500. What it's saying is 555. Let's keep the movement alive, and we're urging everybody, lottie dottie, and everybody of any type of movement. Like we trying to get with cease. Well, it's not ceasefire anymore. It's the peace movement. We're trying to get with everybody. Like that's doing something in your community. I don't care. It don't have to be about police brutality because guess what? The system is the highway of hell. I don't give a damn what street you take to go to get to the highway. You might, if you're downtown, you might take Charles Street. You might take St. Paul Street. You might take Calvert Street, but we're going to end up on that highway. And that's symbolic to this rotten, dirty system to the core. And we need everybody. 555, let's keep the movement alive. I'm going to be sharing things, and it's going to be March the 13th this year on the West Wednesday. Normally, we always do the 600 one, but if we would have waited for that one, that would have been a whole year from now. So we got to keep the movement alive. So 555, we're going to keep this movement alive. We're going to be selling t-shirts, so make sure you get your amazing t-shirts. Like I'll be putting it up soon, sharing it with you. And even if you can't come out physically to support, you can definitely make sure you get a t-shirt. But yeah, I definitely want to see everybody there. And I'm going to be reaching out to my friends. So be expecting to hear something from me real soon. I'll be definitely reaching out to you guys next week. We're trying to plan ahead and just get this thing right. And it's just definitely keeping the movement alive because they think that we only wait to do stuff when somebody is murdered or something's going on overseas. No, we're going to keep this movement alive because to me, Baltimore does have a lot of great people doing stuff. And just like we brought out my firefighter friend Mitch on, you know, um, to tell his story and speak up. And I love him for the simple fact that he's fighting for what's right. It's not like he's about to lose his job or he did anything wrong. He is speaking up for what is not right. And I plan on having, hopefully he'll be there to join us. Like, and anybody that you can think of, I want everybody there. Like, I want everybody there. Like, we got to keep this movement alive because at the end of the day, it is our lives on the line, no matter if it's racism within a job, racism in the police department, the school systems, wherever. It's just really sad. This is a lot of sad stuff happening today. And I even saw the saddest thing online. I couldn't even watch it. I saw Larry, the celebrity cab driver. He was getting evicted today. I think that should be illegal. Like we should be able to change laws. Like how can you put a family out in the snow? How heartless is that? Like that is so disgusting and devastating and traumatizing. Like that is so disgusting. And I pray for anybody that's going through anything. I'm getting emotional. I apologize, but I'm praying for anybody because as for me, and it's not the West Coalition, this is strictly Tawanda Jones. I'm praying for anybody that's going through any type of situation because these situations that we go through where people are sitting back laughing and getting a joke, it's easy to laugh now until the damn joke is on you. When it happens to your family, your loved one, how dare you laugh or joke or get any type of whatever you're getting out of seeing someone family get put out, that is disgusting. And for me, literally, to see people was having a crying face, laughing emoji, like, are you freaking kidding me? What if that was your father? That was your daughter? That was your wife? You wouldn't be laughing then. It's just so sad. And that's my whole point, how we stepped away from humanity. And that's why I say we need everybody out 555. Let's keep the movement alive. Like, we need to fight together. And just like when you see something ain't right, you need to check it. You need to stand up, because a real friend ain't going to sit by and let you make a fool out yourself. That's your enemy. A real friend going, even if you going to get mad at them or whatever, they're going to tell you like, no, you need to check yourself. That's not right. That's what a real friend does. That's what a real friend does. A real friend checks you, a real friend keeps you on course, and a real friend loves up on you, and y'all keep it moving and keep doing what y'all been doing, the wonderful, great stuff. So, yeah, it's just a lot going on. So my heart goes out to anybody that's going through anything right now, whether it's a bad relationship, whether your change is strange, your money is funny, whatever situation you're going through, my heart goes out for you. And just remember that it may seem like that you're under the that you're down and everything seems like it's coming at you and the whole world is on top of you. But guess what? Tomorrow, literally, things can just hit that reset button when you wake up. That's a whole nother day that things could just turn around. And I'm telling you, you could be like knocked off your feet, and then you wake back up and that whole thing turn around. You be like, oh my goodness. And all you can do is testify with great gratitude. And I'm just waiting for everybody just to go through their blessings and just get through life, because in the right way, like just a loving way. Like, we just go back to just that village raising that child, man. We would be, what a wonderful time that would be, just raising that one child. Everybody pulled together to raise that one child, but everybody now is to the point, I'm gonna mind my business, or that ain't me, I don't care. These I don't care attitudes until it happened to you, and then that's really too late. So I just wanted to check in, Uncle Bill, is there any way that you can, because I know every time I try to go and read it from my device, it's gonna cut off. So if you have the disclosure from West Wednesday, or matter of fact, I ain't even what I'm gonna do is I'm not even gonna read it. I'm just gonna try to recall as much as I can, and don't judge my heart. And yeah, so I'm just gonna start that, and then we'll go into the sad list, and then I just want to thank everybody for like tuning in tonight. And yeah, so it is our duty, our mission of the West Coalition to pretty much to get engaged and resolve things without um I'm sorry, to resolve like disputes in a positive way, type of thing. It is our mission never to offend anybody. Because when we get these lists, we get a national and a local list, and we know that these are not an exhausted list or whatever. But don't judge us. We have no information. Like, we don't get any information on the names that we read, or what happened, or the circumstances surrounding what happened. We just pretty much are just trying to just come from a place of care, to uplift these names. And we know that these are not by means exhausted lists at all. We encourage people to not, ever be violent. We encourage people to, if you can, use mediation and whatever to resolve disputes in, a peaceful way. And that's pretty much it. And I just want to let everybody know that whatever you're going through, I feel your pain, because it's a lot going on. I definitely feel your pain, and we're here to support you in every which way that we can. And so I will turn it over. Is our brother Brian on here tonight? Mic check.
Mic check.
I'm here.
Oh, awesome. So it's all yours, brother Brian.
Okay. Thank you, Wanda. As always, this is the sad list. This is a list of people who have been who've died by murder here in Baltimore in the past week. And as always, we say these names to both to honor them and their lives and the place that they had in their community, and to express our solidarity with their loved ones and their friends, and to remind ourselves why we're doing this, and that, this is not a thing about us and being, making us feel better or making us feel heard. This is about the people who we're trying to, people we're trying to save. No one should die violently. And so we just uplift the names of the people who have died in the past week by violence here in Baltimore. If you just echo those names back to me, then we'll try and uphold them in that way. Dion Beasley, 36.
Dion Beasley, 36.
Jasmine Reed, 30.
Jasmine Reed, 30.
Dominic Wynn, 39.
Dominic Wynn, 39.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Brian. And Uncle Bill, I think you said it wasn't a list, but I'll turn the floor over to you. Mic check.
Mic check. Yes.
Mic check.
Yes, the source of the police killings is from the Fatal Force website run by the Washington Post, and they have not updated it since December the 31st. So the names that we read and honored 2 weeks ago at West Wednesday are the last names that we have of people who have been killed by the police. Unfortunately, there probably have been quite a few since, and as soon as that list is updated, we will uphold them. Mic check.
Mic check. And as we always say, cell blocks for killer cops. And we're uplifted. And then it's unfortunate because that list should include everybody killed by the police, because we know that people are not just gunned down and that's the only way that they die. Like, people are beat to death. Like my brother, he wasn't gunned down. Freddie Gray wasn't gunned down. Tyree Nichols wasn't gunned down. The list goes on. Anthony Anderson wasn't gunned down. So, my heart just goes out to everybody, and I wanted to give a big I'm just feeling right now my sister Angela's spirit. I'm lifting up Timothy Fleming's name. I'm just really feeling her right now. I hope that everything's okay, and once I hop off of here, I'm definitely gonna call and check on her. So I just want everybody to take care of themselves, and I just want to thank our sister Queen Rachel for always holding it down. Our brother Ben couldn't be here tonight, but Rachel always steps in and always on point and always gives us love, and just by giving us, her time. And I want to thank each and every last one of the West Coalition members, our family. We're family, So I want to thank you guys just for always stepping in, stepping up, and showing love, and just being there. And I want to thank everybody that tuned in online tonight. We definitely appreciate you guys, and stay warm because it is extremely cold outside. And I really feel sorry for homeless people. Please check on your elderly friends. Just check on everybody. Check on your vulnerable people, children, animals, all of that. It's really it's like we're talking. It's really cold out. So I'm just praying that everybody finds shelter. And I think that's what's really disturbing for me and making me pretty much kind of go back there, because I'm just praying that my nephew is not somewhere freezing on the streets. But I just know that we serve a good God, and I know that he has them just like the same way he had him when he went to Atlanta, Georgia, and we were able to bring him back safely. And I wanted to thank you guys for helping me make that possible. And just, if you're into prayer, please say a prayer. If you're not in the prayer, that's fine. Please just send all the positive energy for my nephew, and not just only my nephew, because we have a lot of young men and women and adults and people that suffer from mental health. Just pray that they take care of their mind, and pray that they just always remain safe, and Yeah, just some we know that this world could be a cruel one and it could suck you right on up. But at the same time, we know that this world can be beautiful because it's people like you that are different makers. So keep making a difference. Remember, live to love, love to live. And we will definitely be back out in these cold streets soon. But like I said, I'm not gonna have it rested because like I said, I'm still like dealing with this little sickness. That's why y'all ain't even see me post a picture because I'm like, I'm still feeling weak. So once I get myself all the way together, I'll be back on the books. But anyway, live to love to live, love you all. And we will see you guys next West Wednesday. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic
check and good